What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about a movie I went to see an early release screening of that is one of my most anticipated films of the year. I have been so excited to watch this movie, and it is the third film in a trilogy from director Ty West. And I have absolutely loved the first two films in this trilogy, X and Pearl, and both star Mia Goth. And Mia Goth has given two exceptional performances in both of those movies. And what I love so much about X and Pearl, they both cover a different period of time and a different era in filmmaking history. And Ty West pays so much attention to detail, to every little thing, to kind of bring to life the genres that exist in those time period. Pearl really pays attention to the golden age of Hollywood. It's very vibrant and colorful. X is a much more like grungy slasher movie from the 70s. And so with Maxine being announced and seeing the trailer surrounding the 80s, I was really excited to see the vibe and aesthetic that Ty West was going to bring, and obviously, and the performance that Mia Goth was going to give. I was really looking forward to it, and obviously all the new cast of characters that were brought to the forefront, and I'm really looking forward to telling you about Maxine today. Maxine is directed by Ty West. In 1980s Hollywood, adult film star and aspiring actress Maxine Minx finally gets her big break. But as a mysterious Hollywood killer stalks the starlets of Hollywood, a trail of blood threatens to reveal her sinister past. So I was really excited to watch this movie. As I said, I've loved both X and Pearl. I thought they were both fantastic movies, so I was really interested to see how Ty West was going to round out this trilogy. And this movie was awesome. It was everything that I hoped it was going to be and so much more. This film captures the 1980s so perfectly, the grimy sort of underbelly of Hollywood, and it encapsulates this era in horror so brilliantly. There's great giallo elements incorporated throughout the film. The way the scenes with the killer are shot are so reminiscent of that era. There's a lot of great practical effects in this movie, and I'm really looking forward to talking about it today without giving you any spoilers. So Maxine, very simply, is the story of Maxine Minx, who Maxine we know from the film X and the tragedy that she experienced in that film. And this is obviously years later, and she has become incredibly successful in the adult film industry, but she wants so much more for her life. She wants to actually be a Hollywood actress. She wants to make a name for herself. And so she's attempting to score a role in a sequel to a very popular horror film that's existing at that time period. Well, at the same time, there's a killer going around town called the Night Stalker, and he's murdering various women, and the police are on the hunt for him. And so obviously a killer is introduced and starts killing off people close to Maxine. And the entirety of the film is Maxine trying to figure out who this killer is and what she wants with him, because he clearly knows something about the situation that occurred to her during the film X. So as I said, this movie was fantastic, and I want to start by just saying Mia Goth is incredible. I cannot believe the level of performance she's given in all three of these movies. It's just such a powerhouse performance, and she commands every bit of your attention from the start of the film to the very end. She has a really brilliant monologue sequence very early on in the movie that just kind of showcases her level of talent as an actress. And I really love about this movie, so much about it is her reflecting on the events of the film X and the tragedy that she experienced and all the trauma associated with it. This idea that she grew up in this heavily conservative religious household and escaped all that and wants something so much different for her life, and how hard she's worked to get to the point that she's at. And I think that there's something really cool in that. And I really love the way Ty West has written this character, where she has her fair share of flaws, but you can't help but root for her because she's so deeply human and she's fighting for something that she feels like she deserves. And it's just really cool to see this character grow throughout those movies. The entire new addition to the cast of characters in this movie are fantastic. I don't want to give too much away about any of the characters. Kevin Bacon especially brings a lot to this movie. He is ridiculous, and I really enjoyed his performance. Giancarlo Esposito is great. I really love all the screen time he got in this movie, and I think that he's really funny and he brings a lot to the table. But everyone involved in this movie, all of the new actors and actresses incorporated, really do a fantastic job with their material, and I really liked it a lot. The cinematography and the production design in this is phenomenal. It really encapsulates the time period perfectly and brings you into this seedy underbelly of 1980s Hollywood. We get film sets, we get like an adult film store, we get all of these different places that Maxine goes to, and it really feels like a movie from that era. You can tell Ty West paid a lot of attention to detail to try to encapsulate this so perfectly, and he nailed it in my opinion. I was immersed in this world from the very first frame, and it cuts to different filmmaking styles that make it feel really period accurate, and the soundtrack choices are great. It really just adds on to everything that films in the 1980s had, and like really heavy synth score, great tracks from the 1980s incorporated into the film that just matches the vibe perfectly. But there's so much about this movie that I really love thematically. For starters, a big part of this movie is surrounding the Satanic Panic era and like the heavy religious conservatives fighting against the Hollywood machine, talking about like how horror films are destroying people's lives. And it's just really brilliant. And you can tell how much Ty West loves horror movies, and there's so many little details in this film that pay homage to different eras in horror. Fangoria magazine's incorporated in this, just all of these little elements in the horror world Ty West places perfectly throughout this movie, and you really just can feel the love that he has for this era. But I really loved all the stuff surrounding Satanic Panic, and a lot of it surrounding Maxine's religious upbringing and the trauma that she experienced surrounding her religious upbringing, and I really liked the incorporation of that into this movie. I also really like the way Ty West frames Maxine's character around the adult film industry and the way that a lot of women that are in the adult film industry are treated, and how much harder she has to fight to make a name for herself in Hollywood because of what she is known for, and that they're trying to like act like her being in this movie is super taboo or strange because she's worked in the adult film world for so long, but she chose that as a career path. She wanted to do that with her life. And I think there's something so empowering about a woman who's like taking charge of, you know, her sexuality and empowerment through her sexuality and confidence in being in this world and saying, I want more for myself as well, and I've worked my way up to get to this point. And I think there's a brilliant commentary in that. And there's also a large commentary on women in Hollywood in general, and the director who is making this horror movie that Maxine is involved in, and the struggles that she's gone through to just be a director in this industry in this time period. And so there's a lot to unpack in the movie, on top of it just being a really fun slasher whodunit movie that when the reveal happened, I was really surprised. I did not expect the movie to go in that direction, and I thought it was a really cool choice from Ty West. I'm sure the third act will have people kind of all over the place, but I thought it was a lot of fun and really felt like something that would come straight out of the 1980s. And I just had a big smile on my face through the entire runtime of this movie. It was so entertaining and engaging. I cannot wait to go back to the theater and watch this again. So have you seen Maxine? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was awesome. I loved every bit of it, and I can't wait to watch it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot, lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.